Hiya, it's Hannah the Artisan Duck, and I'm back today with this beaded heart, and this is cubic right angle weave, which is a lovely alternative to a flat right angle weave. So let's get started. Right, for this project I'm using regular size 11 seed beads, and as you can see I'm using cream and red. And I would say that because you have to go through the beads several times, some of them, that you can't really go much smaller than a size 11. I personally have struggled, so that's up to you to figure out what size bead you want to use. You could obviously go larger as well, it's up to you. And I'm also using my favourite wildfire thread, and I've got my needle added as well. This is quite a thread hungry project, like you will use a lot of thread, and I don't like tying in all my ends, so I've cut myself a super long piece to start with. This is like a whole arm span length, so you know, from one arm stretched right across my body to the other arm or other hand, and I added a bit extra for good luck. It's about, I did measure it because it's so long, about 60 inches long. So I've pulled it through my needle and I have left myself an awful lot sort of pulled through just to make it more manageable to work with. Right, I'm just going to go and move my beads to one side and then we can get started. I'm just bringing this one in for reference, and I'm going to show you which part we're starting on, because the very first stitch actually breaks the pattern a little bit for the rest of it, but it's just so we can get this perfect red and cream patterning going. So if you don't alter it here at the bottom, you'll end up going out of sync, because I wanted cream running through the middle and then red on the outside. So I'm going to start by picking up my beads, and the very first one we're doing is this little four-sided flower shape just here in this corner. So I've already got my beads on my needle. I've picked up 2 red and then 2 cream, and we're just going to pull these beads down the thread, and we're going to leave a good tail thread because we obviously need to sew that in at the end and secure the beads nicely. So I've left myself a good tail thread, and I'm going to go back up just that first red bead here, not that one, just that first one there, and we're going to pull. So it starts off just like regular right angle weave, if you're familiar with that, which you probably are. So there we go, that's our little, I like to think of it as a 4-petaled flower. So we're exiting out this red bead at the bottom, and in order to move on, for the sakes of the pattern, I'm going to move my needle back up to the next red along. There we go, pull through, and now we're ready to add the next few beads. So I'll bring this back in, I can show you how it's working. We've just done these 4 at the front, and we're exiting out of this red here. So the next one we're going to tilt it on its side, and there's another 4-petaled flower. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a cream, a red and a cream and build it up. It will become far more apparent what we're doing as we go along. Right, so there's my beads, and if we're sticking with the idea that this is a 4-petaled flower, we're going to add a new flower here, and this red bead here is petal number 1. So I'm just going to go, and we're exiting out the top of this bead, so we're just going to take the needle in through that red bead again from the opposite direction from where we were exiting, and pull through, and then you'll see there's another flower petal, or 3 flower petals added. There we go. Now we're exiting out in the middle, and in order to carry on we need to move our way around so we can continue off this red bead here. So I'm just going to pass through all these beads like so. And then we're going to go through the red one. Right, so we started from here, we've just added this side here, and now when it will focus we're going to go and add this side here. So we're at the very back from where we started from. So because I want to have the pattern, I'm going to pick up another red and then 2 cream beads. So I've got my beads on my needle like that. My camera does not want to focus today. There we go. And I'm just going to take my needle back through this red bead that we're exiting from. So this is petal number 1, and then we've got the remaining 3 petals here. I'm going to go back through the other way and pull through. Like that. Like I say, it does look a bit funny to start with, but the tension will improve. So I'm going to move my needle through because I want to exit out of the side again. So I'm going to go through that red and then up through the cream. Right, so we're exiting out that side cream bead there, and in order to make it the square shape, we're going to push the beading together like that. So we've got 2 side pieces here, and we just need to add now the remaining 2 flower petals because we've got 1 petal there and 1 petal there. So I'm going to go and add cream beads. So I've picked up 1 bead and we're coming out of this side bead, so we're going down into the next flower petal along and pull through. Like so. Right, so that cream bead is added, so I've got that one at the top and then 2 at the side. So I've picked up 1 more cream bead and I'm just going to go back into that side bead like that and pull up, and then we will have an entirely cream 4 pointed flower, which is looking very confusing with all the other beadwork behind it, but it is there like that. Right, so there's the top of the shape and that's the bottom. So you can see I've got a tail thread sticking out the bottom of it there. So this is the top. So I'm just going to move my needle up. It's exiting out this bead here and into the top of that cream one. And it's important that this is the top if you're following the same pattern that I'm doing with the 2 different colour beads, because we're going to build off this top here, and those 2 red beads that we've added down the bottom here need to be kept sort of this way, no, pointing downwards like that. I'm going to take my needle now through all 4 of these top beads. You can see them sticking up nicely, and that kind of helps pull the beadwork together. And at this point I'm going to do anything I can to help form the shape, but I do this at every step as well, so not just at the beginning. Okay, through the next one. And the next one along again until we get back to where we started from. Right, there we go. I've gone all round those 4 beads and connected them together, and what I'm just going to do now is just to help keep this shape, as I'm just going to take my thread. My thread is not too soft, so I can do this without a needle for most part, so it'll just help form those 4 beads into a sort of more sturdy flower shape just by joining them together. And I'm just going to take that around all 4 again, and there we go, just so the top and the bottom completely match. Right, so I'm exiting out the top of my flower petal now, and I'm making sure that these red beads are facing downwards, because I really need to make sure now that they're in the right position. These red beads are the outer edge of your heart, and you need to remember that as we're going up. So we're going to continue now building another flower. This is flower petal 1, and your next 3 flower petals are going to be red, cream, red. And we're going to stick with this pattern now all the way up until we get to the point that the heart turns outwards because of the indent in the middle. So I'm going to take my needle and we're going to go back into my cream bead like so and pull. Like so, and you can now see that we've added another flower on top of the other one. Because we need to build up, I'm going to take my needle up through that red bead again, so I'm exiting ready, and now we need to add the second flower, full flower. So we've already got 2 petals, you can see here, the cream and the red, and they are forming this second flower petal. So I'm going to pick up a cream like that and a red. We're going to go into the cream again like that and pull. And this is the same step over and over now, apart from the odd little fiddly bit, but if you just want to make a long straight line, you just carry on in this fashion. So there's another flower added. I need to be moving through, so I'm exiting out of this outer flower petal to move on to the next one. So I'm going to go, trying to see, I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, up through the red, sorry, like that. Through the cream, I'm going to go down into the red, and then we're going to have to go through the cream, which is the sort of from the previous level. And we're going to put ourselves in a position to add the next flower. There we go. So we're exiting out this cream and we've got 2 flower petals already there, a cream and a red. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a red and a cream. My beads are off camera because otherwise my camera focuses on them and not what I'm doing. So they're there, and we're going to go back in to that red and pull. There we go. You can see now I've got 3 complete flowers and 1 virtually finished. So we're going to take our needle back through the cream. So we're moving towards the open side, the bit that we've not beaded yet, the 4th side, like so. And now we need to add just the top flower petal because we've got this cream one down here and then these 2 red ones. So I'm going to go up through the red. There we go, there's the cream. And we're going to go down into the, so we're exiting out of this red here, and we're going to go into the opposite red and go back down. Like so. And because now we're exiting going down towards the beadwork we've done, we need to come up to the top here to build another level. So we're just going to take the needle through, so follow the beading path like that, and we're going to go up into the red like that. So we're coming towards the top, and then just to finish this little top flower petal to make sure it's all connected and secure, we're just going to go through all 4 petals to sort of link them together and sort of give the structure sort of some greater stability, I suppose. That's what it's doing, and then we'll be ready to start another row. There we go. It's looking very confusing for a minute, but it'll look more structured as we go along. So we're going to build another row. So it's the same step now. We need to pick up the remaining 3 flower petals in this flower. So I'm going to pick up a red, a cream and a red. And there's my beads. And we're exiting out this top cream. So we're going to go through like that. And pull through, and then we're going to move round to the red, so we're ready to continue on the next side, and it becomes fairly automatic the more you do it. There we go. Like that. I'm going to turn it. So now we've got 1 flower petal here, 1 cream one here. So because we're exiting out the top, the next one in the pattern is a cream and then a red. So I'm going to pick up my cream first and then a red. There they are, and we're going to go into the bottom cream, and that'll pull it like so into the next flower. And now we need to move through the beadwork again, so we're exiting on the next available petal to go round. So up through the red, through the cream, oops, and back down this red. And it might be tempting to try and go through more than 1 bead at once, but I think you'll just end up sort of tugging the beadwork and loosening it. So keep it to 1 bead at a time. There we go. And now we're ready to add the next flower. So this one's got a cream bead and a red bead, and we're exiting out the cream. So the next one round is a red and then a cream. So there we go, there's my beads, and I'm going to take the needle down into the red and pull and through the cream. And I won't make you watch every row of beading, I just wanted to make sure that you understood the initial stitch before we move on. I'm going to pull that through. And then because we're coming out the cream, we're going to go up to the red, and now we're ready to add the last bead in this circular row, so to speak. So we've got 3 of our flower petals, we've got a cream at the bottom and 2 reds here, so the topping bead now is a cream. So just pick that up, and we're going to go down into the red on the opposite side from where we exited, pull it through, and there's our finished flower. We need to work our way up to the top now, so we're going to go through that cream at the bottom again, there like that. We're going to go up the red like so, and now just to reinforce it all, I'm going to go through all 4 flower petals. There we go, and now you're ready to continue on with this same patterning, so alternating red and cream and then going round at the top, and you're going to continue that for however big you want your heart to be. Right, this is the size heart I'm making again. So this is my last row in this stretch, if that makes sense. So I'm going to come back before we add this final flower step here, but you need to carry on now doing the same stitch that we've been doing right round until you got 9 red hearts on the outside. So that's counting these little 2 here at the bottom, and then so it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 red beads, because don't forget that these little 2 that we've already got at the bottom here is actually these 2 at the bottom. So you need to be counting your red beads, including these 2, which are very close together, and then around. So we've already added 4 of the red beads, so you now need to go and add 5 more, and then I'll come back and we'll continue on with sort of turn the direction to go around the other side. Right, so there's all my red added, and we are going to move on now to the very last in this row, but it's going to be sort of a copycat of this one, only the red's going to be on the inside and the outside's going to be cream. So what we're going to add basically is this flower here in the middle. So you can see there's 2 reds together and 2 creams, and because of the way the heart is built, you've got to remember now that these 2 with the 2 reds close together, that is the outer edge. So if you are for some reason exiting out of a different bead on the top, that's fine, but you just need to remember that when you get to this side, you're going to put the 2 reds on the inside and 2 cream sort of off this end here. So I am exiting out my cream bead just there. I have already picked up my beads, so it's 1 cream and then 2 red, and I'm going to go in. So it's exactly the same stitch, I'm just switching up the colour pattern a little bit, and pull through. That's my tail thread, like so, when it wants to behave, like that, and then I'm going to move up to the cream, like so, when I can get it there, like that. And now we are ready to move round to the next flower. So we've got 2 cream, and this is going to be completely on the inside. So this is going to be the mirror image of this one here, but on the top. So I'm going to add 2 more cream to finish off that flower shape. So there's my 2 cream. And in here, or where it's getting a bit, losing light a little bit, and pull, and I'm going to go up and through, so I'm exiting out the other side, like so. So I'm now exiting out that cream bead just there near all the beadwork, and the next side has got to sort of copy this one here. So I've got 2 red on my needle because I've already got the 2 cream, so it's 2 cream and 2 red. I've already got the 2 cream, I just need to add the 2 red, like that. And then I'm going to go through, oops, and up to the outer red, like so, and I just need to add the 4th bead in that flower there, so it's a cream like that, and we're just going to go down the top like so. And I'm going to work my way back up to the top again so I can, you know, stitch around, stitch around those 4 flower petals. That's my tail thread. And my flower petals on this one are red and cream. So we're just going to go through them all. Ooh, where's my needle gone? There. So already thinking about the next step and not concentrating. Right, so you got to remember now, this is where we started from. That's my tail thread. That's the outer part of the heart, and this is the inner part. And you can see those 2 red beads there, and that cream bead there are going to be like the point in the middle of the heart. I'm exiting right out of that pointy bead. It's like that one that's going downwards. So I need to move round because we're going to start beading in a completely different direction now. I'm going to keep hitting my camera. So I've gone through that red. We're going to go through to the cream here. And we're going to start working up this way. So this here, we need cream on the outside and red on the outside and cream at the top. So I'll go ahead and pick up 1 red, 1 cream and another red like that, and we're going to go back in through that cream bead, and we're going to go up. So we're going to go up through that red and pull. There you go. So you can already see the potential for changing direction. So we're now going to build on these cream beads here. So the next one, you can see the pattern continuing that way. So we're going to pick up another cream bead and then a red bead, and we're going to go into this cream bead here. So there's my beads, and we're going to switch it up to this cream here, just like that. There we go. And then we're going to go back up through this red so that we can carry on going around to the cream round there. Oops, like that. Down through the red. And through the cream down here. It's right in the middle of that heart. Just like that. It's going to get a bit tricky for you to see now. So we've got a petal there and a cream petal down there. We just need to finish off with a red and a cream. Like so. So I'm going to go straight down into the red and pull it through. Like that, and then we're going to go back into that cream down there. There we go. Just like that. So now we're going to move around to the back, and we're going to go up through the red, like so. That's my tail. There we go. And we just need to finish off with the 4th petal, which is a cream. And we're going to go back into that red. So I'm going to go round the loop so that I can connect those cream beads. So, oh, getting a bit tight. If it does start to get a bit difficult to move through, you can just use your pliers and pull gently, because I have broken beads many a time doing that. But if the needle tends to go through it to start with quite easy, then it's probably a good sign that there's enough room. It's just getting a little bit tight. If it won't go, you'll just break the bead and then you'll have to unpick it, which is really annoying. Right, so I'm going to move up to the top. And we're going to connect these 4 cream beads. Right, at this point I'm just going to go around, so this is my outer edge, so with my 2 beads, so I'm just going to flip it around and I'm going to take my needle through this sort of back flower here one more time, and we're going to make it so we're exiting out of this red on this side. And that's because I'm going to add a little beaded loop so that I can hang it from a chain. So if you don't want to use a loop on it, or you've got your own ideas, then you can obviously maybe not do this step. But I want to add a little beaded loop at the top, so I can use it for a necklace. So I'm coming out of the top of that red bead, and we're just going to pick up 3 cream. It doesn't need to be big, a big loop I mean, it just needs to allow a jump ring through it. So there's my 3 beads. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So it's just there, and I'm using the cream because it kind of blends in, it doesn't distract from the heart at all. So we're coming out of that red, and we're going to take it, we're coming out of this one, and we're going to take it straight down into the red, sort of next red along from it. If I can get my needle through that one and only that one. There we go, like that. And we're going to pull through. My tail thread, no, it's not my tail thread, my thread that I've pulled through my needle needs to be adjusted. So there we go. So now you can see a little beaded loop, and I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat here. I want to go through this beadwork again, but I don't want to keep putting a lot of pressure on the beads in the circuit. So I've just picked up another red bead, and I'm just going to take it through. This will be the back of my pendant. So if you're using it on earrings, this would be the back of your earring, so you don't see the extra red bead, although it just actually blends in with the pattern, you don't really see it. So we're just going to go back in through that red again. There we go. If you can see, it just sort of blends in with that pattern. You don't notice it. And I'm going to go through all 3 beads again. Just to reinforce it. I always like to do the double thread at these sort of points that I'm going to connect it to something else. And I'm going to go back in through this red bead. Oh, it's going through the second one as well, so that's the one we just added, it's going through as well. And pull through. Doesn't want to go. There we go. Didn't need much help. And pull, and then we're going to work our way around so we can carry on beading up through the top. So if this red bead is getting a bit too tricky, you can always go through the cream and up. So I'm going to see, is my red bead's getting too tricky, because I know it's going to be okay. Pull. Part of my problem is I always put hand cream on before I start filming, because I get really dry skin on my hands, so my hands are really slippery. So there we go, and then back up to the top. Right, so you're now ready to continue beading the other half, just with the same alternating pattern, and I'm going to come back to you for the very last flower here, because this is where it connects onto the point and sort of force the shape round. So you need to finish where you've got sort of in this leg going up this way, the new one. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red beads. Ignore that one, we're doing that one together. So I shall come back to you when there's 6 red beads on the outside, and then we'll do this last flower here where we connect it onto the point of our heart. So I shall crack on with that. Right, so that's finished. That's my tail thread, and this is the side I'm working on. We just now need to, so I've folded my shapes. We've got like that L shape like that, and we're going to sort of curl it over that way. Now you can see that heart shape. So we've got an all white 4 cream beads here, and we've got 4 cream beads here, and we're going to put those two together like that. And we're going to add the red beads in between. So I'm going to find my needle, and I'm going to pick up my first bead. So if you imagine now, we're going to create another 4-petaled flower. This bead that we're coming out of is the top petal, and this bead that matches up with it is the bottom petal. So I've picked up 1 red bead like that, and I'm going to go straight into the petal there, that bottom bead, and pull. I'm going to take that out, and you will be reliant on you pulling the beads together at this point. So don't worry about pulling the thread reasonably tight, because that's what we need to do. That's my tail thread. What's it doing? Where's it coming from? It's here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So if you pull together, you can now see you've got your 3 petals. So we need another red like that, and we're going to go back into the top bead, if it will let me. There we go. And pull. You can see there now we've got our 4-petaled flower. So we're going to move round this way now. So we're going to move through this red bead again, down at the side. That's the one that we've just added. This tail thread is honestly so desperate to join in. So we're using this cream bead here, which I don't think you can see that well, but there's a cream bead there. That's my bottom petal, this is my side, and this one here is the top. So in order to continue, I need to go through this cream bead and through. And I'm going to pull that beadwork tight. Now we're just missing the red bead at the side, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and go straight into this top cream bead here. There we go. So we finished off that petal flower shape there, this tail thread, honestly. So we need to get round now to go on to the next side. So we need to make our way around. So we're exiting out this red bead, and you can see the beadwork at this point wants to pull apart. You're just going to have to keep pulling the thread to tighten it all up. So pull through. Like so. We're going to go through the cream. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. It's awful, I'm recording sometimes and then I realise my hands drifted off like that. And I have to keep reminding myself to come back to the middle of the camera. It's not an easy way to do it because of my, naturally I wouldn't bead with my hand so close to me. I'd bead a little bit further away maybe. So I've gone through that cream and we're going to go up to the red. Like so. I'm going to turn my beading over and now you can see. So my next sort of flower shape is this red bead that we're exiting from, this cream bead and this cream bead. So we just need a red in between. So I'm going to go through the cream. Like so. And I'm going to pick up a red. Here's my red. And I'm going to go now into my cream down there and pull. And you can see we've now finished off that flower shape too. So I'm just going to go and make sure that the stitching on the inside is secure. So I'm just going to work my way around again. Like this. And pull it through. We're going to go across to the side. And we're going to go down through this red. And I don't know if you can see, we need to sort of I'm just going to connect up. So we've got a cream bead down here, we've got the 2 red at the side, and then the top bead there. I don't know if you can see, there's like a little cream bead in between those 2 points, just there. That's the bottom of the inside flower, if that makes sense. So we've got the bottom bead, the 2 red, and that cream. So I'm just going to go through those beads on the inside to sort of join them all together. Thought my needle wasn't going to go through then. I'm going to go up through the red. Like that. We're going to go through the cream. I'm just going to go back through the heart so I can take it at the angle. So I'm just going to go through that one there. Make sure I'm not going through those threads. There we go. Go through that one and pull. And we're going to go down through this red again. If you make this, that will make more sense looking directly at your own beadwork. But it just secures it all off. And there's your little beaded heart. So you just need to go in now and knot your threads and sort of maybe tighten up some of the beadwork should you need to. And you need to obviously knot off the tail thread as well. I must confess at this point, I do actually go through and just join these 2 red beads on the last one I did, just because I felt like it just pulled the heart together in a slightly better shape. So I'm going to go into that red bead like that and go through like that, and I'm going to work my way up sort of through the beadwork, tying my knots. What I'm going to do is tie my knots before the beads, but I'm going to try and do it on the inside. But I will, before you tie a knot, just check that your next bead along is clear, because the worst thing is to tie your knot and then realize you can't get your needle through, and then you can't sort of hide that knot. So I'm going to go, I won't show you all the knotting, but I'm going to go across a thread like that. You can just see I've crossed my needle under the thread that's going between those 2 beads, and then pull it so you've got a little loop, and then you're going to go through and pull. And then you're going to go into your next bead along. So I'm going to go into this cream one, like so, and pull. And that's one little knot. And you can do, so you can sort of do like a double knot, so do that little tying action twice and then pull it into a bead, but just make sure your bead is nice and clear. And if you're going to do a double knot, try and hide it somewhere on the inside. I find that works best. So once you've tied all your ends off, you're just going to use your loop at the top, if that's what you've done, to add a jump ring, so you can pop it on your chain or earring parts, however you want to use it. Make quite a cute bracelet if you could figure out how to make like a loop on the side and add your bracelet going around. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it was clear. I will put the link below for the blog post that goes with this, because there'll be photos step by step. So if you want like a visual reminder as you go along, you can go and see that there. And I hope I've explained that well, because I always worry that I'm not explaining myself clearly enough. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope to see you soon. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.